How do you trade AI? Craig Bolanos is with VestGen Wealth Partners. Hey, Craig, welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. Great to be with you. Yes, AI remains first and foremost just the dominating theme in the investment landscape ever since 2023. But it's amazing to see how it's evolved. I actually think we're in stage 3 when it comes to investing in AI. Stage 1 was the AI excitement. We all remember what happened with OpenAI in the fall of 22, and in 23 and 24, markets, investors, they rewarded anything, any company that was just attached to AI. And then it shifted. 2025, last year, was phase 2 of the AI investment revolution. It was all about the capital expenditure, right? The market rewarded all of these massive hyperscaler companies. It was the hyperscalers that were driving things. And now it's really all about AI validation, because you've seen a lot of the names in the Magnificent Seven. They haven't necessarily performed. Companies are looking at balance sheets, earnings per share, outlook. It's no longer a broad-based reward. It's becoming more selective. So is the AI trade done? No. Is the AI trade maturing? Yes, as do all innovative cycles.
You hit on some great points there, and thinking about the actual infrastructure that goes in to the AI movement. How often do we focus on like the end result, almost the product side, if you will, towards the end where the consumer is, and we forget about what actually builds all of this? Very important, right?
It's so critical. One of the things we talk about with our clients across the country at VestGen Wealth Partners is you don't have to invest just in the hyperscalers. You don't need to invest in the semiconductor company. It's the entire vertical that supports. People should be re-energized over infrastructure, owning great energy companies of America, owning those energy transmission companies, looking beyond just energy production and transmission and looking at something that transmit data. I'm talking cell towers. I mean, think of how many people in the agriculture industry have cell towers. And I'm looking beyond cell towers to also say fiber optic networks. And then, of course, you have to pay attention to the data center. And sure, there is some concern about being able to meet the demand, but globally, there are so many countries that are so far behind America because we've got more data centers than the next 10 countries combined. So the infrastructure thematic you talk about is a very important secular thematic for investors who don't want to go directly into a chip stock, own the rest of the vertical that supports the AI build out.
Hey, Craig, is it important as well then with the building of these AI data centers all over the place? I can tell you within 150 miles of my home, there are no less than 8 being built right now. Some of these are absolutely huge. The requirements that for cooling is one thing. By the way, it's okay to be against AI or AI data centers, but we need to have the facts as well. For those that are around me, there are a lot of people up in arms right now saying they're going to drain the aquifer. You know, it's going to be completely gone. They use so much water. But the reality is that is a closed system. So that's one part of it. The other part is the energy part. Is that one of the, I guess, tentacles of the AI debate that we could invest in as well?
Yeah, that's what I just mentioned. Get excited. Look at all of the utility companies, old school utility companies, those who actually transmit the energy. Those things look like Mercury rockets getting set to go into orbit like we did in the 1960s. So explore all of the tentacles that support AI, from the energy production, the energy transmission, the data transmission. You can own the bricks and mortars. Think of the great companies of America that are being hired to drive all of that concrete, all of that rebar, everything that's required there. It really is an amazing story, but you're right. I don't want to forsake the fact that people are always going to worry about the disruption that comes from newer technology and how that's going to compete for what I call our electricity rates, how that's going to compete for clean water. You know what? At the end of the day, we'll find out once we get there. I remember people being worried about ethanol. I remember people being worried about fracking. I remember people being worried about so many different things. And it's always good to be guarded, but we also need to be open to new concepts when we're talking about growing our capital base if we too want to get retired and stay retired.
Two things that you said: open to new concepts. You also mentioned brick and mortar, and I don't know why that makes me think of the Federal Reserve. But let's switch gears. New Fed chairman. How would you score the new Fed chair?
I was a little nervous. Anytime there's a change, it's right to be nervous as an investor. But, we had his first testimony. That happened last week, right? The new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh. And I'm going to give him a B plus to maybe, honestly, I'm going to give him a strong A minus. Now what he did is he came out swinging. Gone are the days of free and open transparency with looser lips from the Fed. What we have enjoyed for some time is a Federal Reserve who told us everything that they were thinking almost before they even thought it. That allowed the markets to react and behave in a different way. We're back to a new period of time now where the Fed is going to be much more humble, much more quiet. And as a result of that, I feel like it's early Greenspan. We're going back to the early 90s. We might be guessing what's going to happen on a go forward basis. In addition to that, he's going to rethink in this new world of productivity if some of the data metrics, because the Fed is very data dependent, if those are actually reliable. So I see this Federal Reserve chairperson as someone who's going to be more transformative. Let's lean into what the president did and believe that it's going to be transformative for a positive.
I know there's some who are getting near that retirement age and just wondering, okay, if I retire, can I stay retired? And you're the guy for that. VestGen Wealth Partners, where do we find you?
I want you to connect with us online at getretiredstayretired.com. That's getretiredstayretired.com. Tony, my best to you and your viewing audience as we all celebrate America 250.
Absolutely. Craig, thanks for being here. Craig Bolanos, VestGen Wealth Partners. Again, he's online at getretiredstayretired.com.